What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, looking at even more Crystal Beast support coming out in Duelist Pack 19, and I am pleasantly surprised. I did not see this coming. Not the fact that I didn't see more support coming. I thought that when they revealed the new Ancient Gear fusion spell card, I was like, okay, well, maybe now Crystal Beast can get their own fusion spell. That'd be kind of dope. I mean, the fact that these cards are actually really good, and that surprised me because I just thought Konami would find some way to massively fuck this up, because when you looked at the new Rainbow God Dragon, I was like, yeah, it's definitely a powerful card and the artwork looks fantastic. It's kind of cool that Crystal Beasts are fusion, they're fusion based because obviously they came out in the GX era, but like realistically, how the fuck are we supposed to summon this thing? Like when you look at the summoning conditions of 7, Crystal Beast monsters, like, okay, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, you contribute a Rainbow Dragon or Rainbow Dart Dragon to summon him, but who the fuck really wants to do that? Because those monsters are just as hard to summon. But Konami has answered the call, and we finally have a good practical way of getting this motherfucker on the board, as well as another good card that I think people are probably going to run 3 of in the deck. So 2 cards to look at. The first one is Rainbow Bridge. Add 1 crystal spell/trap card from your deck to your hand, except Violet, Crystal, and Crystal Counter, by the way. This is not a hard once per turn, and the most important thing about this is out of all the cards it searches Crystal Abundance. Thank freaking God. Once I realized that, I was like, all right, we got to play this card, because Crystal Abundance has pretty much been the win condition for Crystal Beast as long as I can remember. Crystal Beast came out in GX, so they're over a decade old. It's a super old archetype, and Crystal Abundance really hasn't been power creeped, because a lot of times when you resolve it, you just kill your opponent right then and there. It's a very difficult card to deal with because your opponent loses their entire board, and then you have a bunch of Crystal Beast monsters ready to come back and just kill them. So this is a really good card. It gets Blessing, it gets Promise, it gets almost everything in the deck that you're running. So I think that you're probably going to run 3 of this. It doesn't get rare value, but I mean, I don't think rare value is really all that necessary as a Crystal Beast card. It would have been nice if it got rare value, I'm not gonna lie, but most people probably aren't even running rare value anyways. Then we have the card that everybody is super excited about. This is the fusion card. It's a trap, but unlike that shitty Destiny Hero fusion card or fusion trap that I completely said was garbage and I ended up being right, this is actually pretty good because the activation conditions are so much, like they're very practical and for what it actually does. This is Ultimate Crystal Formation, and I was like, it's a trap. I was like, how are we supposed to summon the guy? Hopefully it's not a trap fusion card, but it is, but it's fine. It says, effect number 1. When a Crystal Beast monster you control is destroyed by battle, send to the graveyard 7 Crystal Beast monsters with different names from your hand, your deck, that's the biggest important part, or your side of the field. Special summon 1 Ultimate Crystal God fusion monster from your extra deck. This is treated as a fusion summon. So basically, by the way, this is a totally searchable card. If your Pegasus gets run over, or if you ram it into something bigger, you can activate this card and you get to go straight into the fusion monster, and it's like, that's pretty easy, especially because considering the card is searchable and not like Crystal Beasts really have any impressive stats anyways. If your opponent doesn't see this coming, this is definitely something that they are going to want to not have. Like, they're not going to want to deal with a 4,000 attack monster that can spin back their entire field. And then the second effect is really good too. I actually think the second effect is just as good. It says if a face-up Ultimate Crystal God monster you own leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect while you control it, pretty difficult to kill them in battle unless you play enemy controller or Book of Moon. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Place any number of Crystal Beast monsters from your graveyard face up in your spell and trap zones as continuous spells. So essentially, let's say that you activated the first effect and you got 7 different CBs in your graveyard. The most important ones, I said this on my stream, are basically Pegasus and Ruby Carbuncle. You can then, if your god leaves the field, now you can't tribute it for its effect, but if your opponent uses Dark Hole, Regeki, Slumber, Torrential, anything like that, you can trigger this and you can get 5 of them in your back row immediately. And that's really powerful because if you have Rainbow Ruins, that means that you can use the 5 effect. Well, you can draw a card, and then you can use the 5 effect to just summon Carbuncle, and then Carbuncle summons all of them, and hopefully you can go nuts on your opponent. And that should be a pretty solid way to get this deck just flowing a lot quicker. Like, Crystal Beast has always felt like, I don't know, a deck that just, it seems kind of slow, and I've always thought that if you don't have Rainbow Ruins on the field, you're just really fucked. And I don't know, they need very powerful spells and traps to make up for the fact that they can't really keep a bunch of spells and traps in their zones, because obviously they keep their face-up Crystal Beasts in their zones. Also, the fact that they got Pendulum cards, which was just weird. The Pendulum nerf really hurts them. So you guys let me know what you think. Now, a lot of other YouTubers are saying Crystal Beasts is gonna be like high-tier competitive. Let's not go crazy now. I think that at best it'll probably be a deck that can maybe top a regionals. We have to, the main thing we'll have to see is the consistency of the deck. Like, that's Crystal Beasts' biggest problem. Like, the cards that they have, a lot of them are not hard once per turns. Rare Value, I think, is not a hard once per turn. I mean, this Rainbow Bridge is not a hard once per turn. Hell, this Ultimate Crystal Formation is not a hard once per turn. So they're still built like a GX archetype. Pegasus, you know, a lot of these cards can activate over and over and over again, and that's definitely something that, you know, is kind of hard to power creep. But at the same time, a lot of their monsters are weak. 1800 is pretty much the biggest you got. We'll have to see how the consistency of the deck is. If the deck actually has consistency, we may be probably seeing a deck that can like top regionals. And believe me, there is nothing more that I would like than to see Crystal Beast. Crystal Beast is like one of the decks that I think that it is one of the all-time top 15 like favorite Yu-Gi-Oh archetypes. Not as high as like Black Wings and Elemental Heroes and, you know, Burning Abyss and stuff like that, but Crystal Beasts they've been a fan favorite for a long time, and they've always gotten, in my opinion, a raw deal, because they were supposed to, in my opinion, they should have been top 3 or 4 most important archetypes from GX, but they just never got there. Like, Crystal Beast should have had the legacy that Gladiator Beast did. Crystal Beast should have won YCSs because it was that important in the anime, and they pushed it that hard, and it got its own duelist pack, but it never did anything competitive, and that's a real big shame, because usually when Konami pushes decks like that, Light Sworn and, you know, Black Wings a prime example, when Konami gets support after support after support, the deck usually ascends to like tier 1 greatness at some point, because Konami has pushed it so hard. So you guys let me know what you think. I think we have 2 very good cards. I think you have to play multiples of the trap, because I don't think Crystal, like playing regular, try to play, you know, just play regular Crystal Beast, I don't think it's going to work. I think you kind of have to get the God Dragon out, and hopefully it can kill your opponent, and hopefully if not, then you can get the effect to get 5 more in your back row, and maybe you can Crystal Abundance your opponent, maybe just get 4, or summon Carbuncle and spam the field, because Crystal Beast might work actually pretty well with links. Anyways, I'm just talking about random stuff. Whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn on those notifications for daily videos.